All right, guys, August 25th, kids just went back to school today, so we've got a week of beautiful weather. It's gonna be in the 70s all week, so we're gonna make another big push the next week, maybe 2 weeks, and I think we'll be ready for the season opener, maybe even youth season. So we've got some stands to get out. We've got to start thinking about our cereal grains. First order of business, though, is we need to go over the bow setups. So I was just going to show you guys my setups for 3D versus my hunting setup. They're very similar, but a few differences. So I'll just show you that real quick. On my 3D rig, this is the RX-8. I'm running 23s on that instead of the micros. Weight difference is another big difference I've got here. I've got 18 ounces on the back bar, 5 on the front. On this one, I think I've got 7 and maybe 3, something like that. Running the Booney sight on both of them. I just put this Booney sight on this one. I got it all leveled up. Third axis, third axis leveled up, so we're good there. Now really we just need to paper tune it. I'm gonna show you guys how I paper tune this, and then we gotta get a sight tape on it, and we're ready to go. So let's go ahead and do that. Oh, by the way, there's some big deer showing up, so I'm pretty fired up. You know, you get into that hot weather in the middle of the summer and you're like, yeah, I don't know, I'm not that fired up about it. Well, you start getting some big deer on camera, and all of a sudden I can't stay away from my cameras. So it's pretty exciting. All right, let's get to it. Put this one away first of all. What I'm trying to do with paper tuning my hunting setup is try to get my field points to hit right with my broadhead. So I'll show you how I do that. We want to take 4 different arrows, and we're going to Nock index them or Nock tune each of the 4 arrows and make sure our bow is tuned to where we can tune all 4 of those arrows. If it's not, then I would go back and tune whatever arrow will not Nock tune. Tune your bow to that arrow and then go back to the other 3 and see if you can't tune them all then. So let's go ahead and do that. I always start at 5 yards with my compound stuff. That's the farthest distance. That's where you're gonna get your worst tear at. Anything past 5 yards, your fletching start to take over and correct that arrow shaft. So 5 yards is usually where I shoot, anywhere from 12 to 15 feet, right in there. Okay, I'm just gonna number these 4 arrows 1 through 4 so we don't get confused with which arrow's which. All right. Left and right's pretty close. That was a lot better. All right, so we got shot number 1. It looks pretty darn good. Now, if you can get a bullet hole with all 4 of these, then it really doesn't matter how you have that Nock tuned, but most of the time it's gonna make a difference doing this. You'll see there's a little tear one direction, and see, the thing is, if you shoot one arrow, let's say it's got a little right tear, well, your broadhead's not gonna hit right with that arrow. So that's why we're doing all this. All right, number 2. See what that one did. See, that one tore high right. You can see now, I'll shoot 2 more, and you're gonna find out where you need that Nock. As close as you can get that one. All right, guys, as you can see, rotating that Nock indexing will give you 4 different tears a lot of times. Number 1 is our bullet hole. 2 was pretty good, just a little right. 3 was more right. And 4 is about the same as 3. So I am gonna go back to this position right here for this arrow, and we'll leave that there, shoot the other 3, and make sure we can tune them all to something like that. Now, if you can get them to fly like that at 5 yards, I'll bet you your broadheads will hit really close to your field points. That's one of the things I like about 4 fletch too, is it gives you 4 different rotations on the arrow, whereas you only have 3 if you do a 3 fletch. Almost the same, a little high right. All right, let's pick the best one we've got here. This looks like number 2 is gonna be it. All right, let me show you what we have here. Had you only tuned your bow off from this arrow right here, this first one, I think you'd leave it right where it's at. You got a couple good bullet holes here, a couple little to the right. But then as you keep going to different arrows, you can see like this one right here, they're all slightly to the right. When I say right tear, I'm talking tail right. Point goes in, tail of the arrow hits a little to the right. So the way you correct that, you can either move your rest to the left, or if it's quite a bit, you know, these are pretty minor, they're pretty good tears, so I'm gonna move my rest on these. If it was more, like say like this one here, or worse than that, then I would move my string. So on a right tear, you would move your string to the right, that would correct that, or your rest to the left. So 1, 2, 2. Boy, those are all pretty good, except for maybe that one's a little bit to the right, or this one here, I mean. Okay, we want what, 20 clicks? So now, still fighting this right tear just a little bit, so instead of continuing to move the rest, I'm going to move the rest back about halfway, and then I'm going to move my cam to the right. I'm only going to move one side though, not both. I think that's going to be too much. Exactly what we thought, look. Give it a little slight left tear. So it was a little too much, but I had moved my rest also, so let's move the rest back a ways. About halfway, we'll give her 10 clicks. Pretty good one. I think it tore just a little longer down there on the bottom, but if you look at the top, it's tore the way it should be, so I don't think it really tore low. I think it just paper tore like that. Yes. All right, we ended up moving the rest back, moving my string just a little bit to the right because I kept getting some right tears. And so then I ended up, these are the tears we decided on with those 4 arrows. We got this guy, a good tear there, good tear, good tear. And so you need to do this with every arrow. You need to knock index it to get a bullet hole. If you can't get a bullet hole with an arrow, your broadhead's not going to hit the same as your field point. So that's the key to it. You got to be flying true. I mean, you can always sight in for your broadheads if you want, but that's just a pain in the butt. You want to shoot practice points, broadheads. And we will put some broadheads on and broadhead tune to make sure also. Sometimes you can get some wind planing with different broadheads, so you got to shoot your actual broadhead that you're going to shoot. Let's see, that would move it up, that would move it down, so it's got to go. All right, we're starting out with broadhead here. Top of the tape, maybe?
Starting to see a little something down there.
A little something, something? We're stacking them, boys.
It looks like and sounds like.
Yeah, it sounds like. That's why you always shoot the broadheads first, obviously. I want that one back, but whatever. Let's go scope them out. Like I said, she's not sighted in yet, but we're just group shooting these. Fired that one just a little low. That's a field point there. And then here's our 2 broadheads, the other field point. So if you're getting them to group better than that, well, I guess you'll have to show me what you're doing, because I think that's pretty darn solid. If you get them to group like that, you switch back and forth between broadheads, field points. Now, if they weren't hitting the same, like I said before, let's say your broadhead's hitting here, your field point's here, that means you're coming out knock left. So go make your adjustments for knock left. If you're paper tuning, if it was a field point, That'll bring your impact back together, and then you'll have to re-sight. But anyway, we're ready to sight that bow in and get to shooting a lot. We got some big deer out there we're gonna have to go after, so we gotta keep up on this. But for today, gosh, I don't know what we wanna do. Let's go to the list. We've got tree stands to put up, a little bit of food plot stuff to do. Cameras to get out, which I'm kinda chomping at the bit to get all those out. So let's go get some of that done, and at least we're that much closer to being ready to hunt anyway with the compound. All right, we're gonna look for a spot to put a tree stand right here. Now this is gonna seem a little counterintuitive, but I think I'm gonna hunt it with a southwest wind blowing into that little piece of timber there, because it drops off really steep. The only thing you gotta watch in situations like that, you need a decent wind speed to keep that scent up above them so it doesn't just fall off into a thermal. So we'll look at that first. Let's check out my little food plot I added here the other day for a little more green source. Don't look like it's up, other than I see a few oats there. Well, I can see right down through. Let's go check it out.
I need rain in the worst kind of way. A little bit coming up.
Got some peas up right here. There's brassica there, or radish.
The other brassica. Well,
the good news is, if this doesn't come up like we're hoping it, we can come back with winter wheat or rye, broadcast the whole thing, it'll still be something nice and green. But we are getting good germination right here on this side. You see that's in the shade more. It tells you it's we just need some more moisture. All right, let's see what we can find for a tree right here. It's got good cover now, and it is an oak, so to keep the leaves later. Just don't know if we can get tucked in, you know, kind of where that split is. If you get tucked in there, it wouldn't be bad.
talking about the one that's way up there?
I'm talking about, well, no, this just up above this.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I got you.
With that ladder, I think you don't want to be about full.
Yeah.
Let's just walk this edge a little bit and see if there's a better option. By the time we trim that out, we're going to be wide open, aren't we?
Yeah.
I mean, I like the location. You can shoot everything, but if you're wide open to the world, where do we have the most cover? Let's set the ladder. Set the ladder straight north. Will that still get you to where you can film it, or do you want me to angle this way where you can be straight north? I could probably shoot either way. I'll have to turn on the stand a little. I mean, to shoot this road, I'll have to turn anyway. If I'm straight north, I'd still have to.
Alright, and then once you're up there, are we able... These two trees here are going to be in the way?
We're going to have to definitely do some trimming, but I like the cover. That's like compared to that one on the corner, there's nothing. Once you trim it, there's nothing left.
Yeah.
This one, at least you got some cover in front of you, and we can just trim out pockets.
Yeah, and then if I'm on the back side, I got these two trees fairly close.
And once we get up, I wonder if we can see down into that timber, because I would sure like to be able to call to that.
I bet you would. Once these leaves drop a little bit, or even the shooting, we're gonna have to trim the shooting lane anyway.
Yeah, the only downside to this spot is I was hoping to find one for a south wind, so we can hunt. We got one for a north wind right down here, and we'd have one for a south, but I just don't see a tree I like.
Well, we can always ground and pound on that side.
True. All right, let's plan on putting that here.
Ladder facing pickup.
Yeah, I think that'd be perfect. Ladder right at the pickup. I could shoot all this. Then what we'll probably do then is mow one more path from like the pickup down this tree line. So we got the primrose path, baby. Beautiful footage walking through that CRP.
Death Row 3.0, baby.
I like it. Devin says Death Row 3.0. Forgot we're still live. And there's old Davinsky right there. All right, you get down here where it's a little more shaded. Food plot's looking a little bit better. The oats and the peas came up really good. Some clover growing. If we could just catch a rain in the next 5-6 days, that's all we need. But while I was trying to find a good creek crossing back in here, I found a couple decent ones, but it was just one trail going to them, so I didn't love them. So there's a little opening right here. I'm going to set one up on. Got a little white oak right there with a limb that's perfect for a scrape, so I'm going to set it right there. We'll cover this little opening, plus get this scrape right here. There's my scrape limb. There's my tree. Well, this is going to be mighty shaded, but with these sun and shade, I'm hoping it gets enough light. Work just fine. If not, well, we can always keep putting batteries in them too. But it's not what I would prefer. Let's see what we have for a link level here. 38 says good, so we are good to go right here. All right, let's knock down a few of these weeds here. All right. Well, we got that done. Let's go back. See if we can give Devin a hand. All right, tree stand is hung. I think what I will do is make kind of like the spokes to a hub of a wheel here and have everything just come. We already got 2 trails here. So then we can make one up this edge right here, one coming from this direction. So it'll be awesome. And here's our tree stand right here. Just like we said, this is going to be a little food plot on this road here. Got a little bit on each end of it. You know, you're not talking more than about 1/4 acre, maybe 3/10. Sometimes that's all you need. There's the setup right there. It's got really good back cover if you look at it from this side. I actually think this tree will work pretty good with all the back cover it's got. There you go, look at that angle right there. Now when those leaves drop, it'll be a little different, but we're gonna put a trail right down through here, so hopefully we can get everything converging right here at this tree stand. So with any luck, an absolute giant will go down right here. Is it luck? Or is it where opportunity and preparation meet? Is that luck? That's what I'd like to say. We will be prepared. All right, we're back up here at this clover alfalfa. Looks like we got a decent kill on the grass. Check her out here. Okay. All the foxtail and the crabgrass we got killed pretty good. Look what we have here. The infamous turkey feather. Love them. I'll bring that to my daughter. She loves turkey feathers. Some peas coming up, yeah. There's your peas here. Some oats, some brassica. All the way down, if you look down this trail, you can see the green coming up all the way down, and then you see the food plot that I'd sprayed first down there. That's coming up pretty good, so we'll go take a look at that. That's where the tree stand's going, so we'll drive on down there. But Check this plot out. This is one we drilled the same time as this trail. Difference being we're in a little bottom ground spot here, like 80 CSR ground right here. And this baby's taking off pretty solid. We just need to catch a rain here soon. We've got a little dilemma with this cottonwood. We've got to get up, I would say, higher than the ladder stand we've got to get, there's a crotch of a tree we wanted to get above right there where that tree gets a little smaller for our straps and whatnot. What about if we go on the back side of that, Devin? Is that straight enough where we can just get to the back of the tree? Because obviously the main crotch is only about 8 feet up, so. That's gonna have to be what she is. I don't know. I mean, I guess what we'll have to do is go on that side of the tree and just push it this way as far as we can. Of course, we'll go look at that other one, I guess. See what's up. I'll wade into this. Seems like you're scared of chiggers. If you ever have, and you know why. That's some Canada thistle there too. All right. The reason I like this tree is because it's right next to a creek. I love those for access. You walk up and down the creek, get in and out. Let's see. Gosh, that's kind of a tough one. These big old trees like this are actually kind of a pain to hang stands in, but I don't know if you can see old Devin up there, but because this is a lone tree, we're trying to use all the cover it's got to our advantage. So I'm only up about 12 feet right there where that muddy ladder stands at. And then Devin will be on the back side of that trunk where he's working right now. He'll be up about 14 feet. But I actually think being down a little lower in this tree is actually better. Of course, when they're up here on the hill, they're looking down on us, but we just have to be careful with our movement. All right, guys, I'll show you what we ended up with here. Devin's just putting the finishing touches on. That's a pretty killer setup, no higher than it is. Like I said, it's only about 12, 14 feet up there. But we've actually got decent cover. We can shoot almost this whole plot except for the cover we left right there in front of Devin. So, I mean, that's a little tricky right there, but we can shoot either side of it, so we should be in good shape. Like I said, this food plot's coming in nice. I'm gonna go out on a limb and say we're gonna kill a buck right here this fall. I don't know what size buck will be in here, but if there's a mature buck, and there should be maybe more than one, I bet we get one out of that set. I really like that. I mean, they could skirt the plot and go up around that way and you don't get a shot, but the way we enhance this little bottom piece right here, I bet we get one. If you're a betting man, what you betting? Well, here we are, Wednesday morning, just putting the finishing touches on the sight tape here. I think I got her pretty well dialed, might be hitting just an inch low. Haven't decided if I want to take that out yet. I don't mind hitting just a little low on whitetails. I mean, if you're shooting 3D, I want it to hit exactly where I'm aiming, but we'll see where they're at. We'll go 20, 30, 40, 50. And we got a little breeze going right to left, so we could get some left wind drift. What we got first? 20. All right. 20 it is. Egads. Oh, it's in the dot. I can see my fletchings look like it hit the other dot there. It's in the little dot I was aiming at, but it just kicked up to the right. All right, so 20 looks good. We may be ready to go, other than the usual practice. Whew. Let's say a little gust of wind might have hit that one. Height looks good, straight left. Just left of that one. One more at 50 here. Let's go check them out. See what we got. She's a little gusty there, but we got that dot. I'd say 20's dialed. Practice tip. Straight left on this one. Maybe I shot a little to the left, plus we hit a gust of wind. I know my sight wasn't that far left, but height wise, right about in the middle, so I like that. Again, height wise, pretty close to the center. And then at 50, we just got a little wind drift to the left there. Even with the skinnies, it's gusting probably 25 today. Again, height's about perfect, so I think we got the sight tape pretty well dialed. Feel good about that. Just keep practicing. Be tough to switch back and forth between compound and the recurve, but let's go talk about some deer that we've got showing back up. I've got a list I want to show you guys. Just putting the finishing touches on some things here. You notice I'm shooting this, sighting it in exactly the way I plan to shoot it. Quiver on, arrows into quiver. Always like to do that. So I think we're pretty well dialed. It's just a matter of keep shooting, and maybe we just got to fine tune it just slightly, but I think we're pretty good. But I do want to leave you guys with some of the bucks that we found back. We've got a few good ones showing up. We got the Genesis buck, you guys know about him. We've seen him some this summer. I think August, maybe 10th, 9th, 10th, somewhere in there is the last picture I've got of him. Of course, he's all finished out, looks beautiful. Another buck we got's Wide 9 Junior. He made a nice jump this year. I'd say he probably pushes 160 as an 8. Super brows on him. His 2s and 3s aren't anything real crazy, but the overall frame is just a great big old frame on him. Awesome deer. Another one that showed back up is the 6x6 from last year. We filmed him late during shotgun, and then late season when we were hunting with Joey, we filmed him then too, so beautiful buck. The other one is the one we're calling the Joe Noble 8. It's just a beautiful 8, nice tall brows on him. We filmed him late season as well when we were hunting with Joe. And then we got the DW8, that's the Devin Wills 8, that he passed January 9th. We got some footage of him, he was hunting over there. We kind of split up trying to get our target bucks. And then the only other buck that I can think of that's beautiful that we found back is that tall 10 from last year. I hunted him a couple times, never could kill him, so. Bunch of good ones showing back up, and you know, deer that we've never seen before, we're getting a bunch of those as well, so getting pretty exciting. I appreciate you guys joining us, and we will see you on the next one.